Madam, am I audible, madam?
Hello, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
Madam, am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Audible, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Welcome, sir. At
Please,
exactly
madam.
10 o'clock, we can start the session, sir.
Madam, I'm at your leisure, madam. Kindly take the privilege, madam.
Sir?
Madam, I am at your leisure, madam. I'm available, madam. Whenever you say, I'm ready to do the madam.
Sir, 1 minute, sir. I can't hear your voice clearly, sir, actually.
Madam, no problem. Whenever you say, I'll take it forward, madam.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. No problem, sir. 10 o'clock
Is it
exactly.
okay, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sure, sure.
Madam, I'm audible now? Madam, is it okay? Madam, could you able to hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I can hear you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Madam,
Okay, sir.
I am at your leisure, madam. No problem.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. 3 minutes, sir. Okay, sir.
Madam, is my screen is visible, ma'am? Madam ji? Ramya, madam,
Yes, sir.
is my screen?
Visible, sir. Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
Sir.
Thank you.
Screen is visible, sir.
Just for a check, madam, once you ask me to start, I will do the needful, madam.
Okay, sir. No problem, sir. Okay. We can now itself we can start the session, sir.
No, be at your leisure, no problem.
Okay, sir.
Bye.
Good morning to everyone present here today. Myself, Dr. A.S. Rema, Head of the Department of Sanskrithi School of Engineering, Puttaparthi. I welcome all of you for this fourth day of one-week faculty development program on recent trends in material technology, which is jointly organized by Department of Civil and Mechanical Engineering. It is a glorious moment to extend my warm wishes on behalf of the Department of Civil and Mechanical Engineering from Sanskrithi School of Engineering, Puttaparthi, to our honorable chief guest, Dr. G.L. SATHYAMOORThy. I want to convey my heartfelt gratitude to you for accepting the invitation and presiding over this event. I would like to give a warm welcome to everyone who is attending the one-week faculty development program on recent trends on material technology. With great pleasure, I introduce our distinguished chief guest, Dr. J.L. Sathyamurthy, Professor, Department of Civil Engineering, Kumaraguru College of Technology, Coimbatore, who is present here to deliver the content of composite materials and its applications in engineering. He got the first class with a distinction in his bachelor degree in civil engineering from Government College of Engineering, Salem, under Madras University. He had graduated a master degree in environmental engineering in Government College of Technology under Bordiyar University, Coimbatore. He obtained his doctorate in Kumaraguru College of Technology, Coimbatore under Anna University. Moreover, he qualified the GATE exam with a 73%. Totally, he has got 17 years of teaching experience and 5 years of industrial experience. He started his career as a project engineer in Shubhas Projects Marketing Limited, Bangalore, in the year of 1998. In the year of 2003, he steps on his foot in teaching field in Muthayama Engineering College, Rasipuram, Tamil Nadu. Now he is working as a professor in the Department of Civil and Comaraguru College of Technology, Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu. He has a number in professional bodies such as Indian Society of Technical Education, International Congress of Chemistry and Environment, and Indian Geotechnical Society. Further, he is an academic board member of Tyagaraja Polytechnic College, Salem, and a board of studies member in Kumaraguru College of Technology, Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu. When it comes to his research life, he received the project fund of 28 lakhs for Indo-French collaborated project on optimization of aerobic fixed reactor. The AICT has awarded 5 lakh rupees for enlarging the environmental engineering lab with gas chromatography under the scheme of modernization removal of obsolete scheme. Received a sum of rupees 5 lakhs from AICT New Delhi towards the conduct of the International Conference on Wastewater Management. Further, he received a minor research project from UGC on arsenic removal from drinking water using fly ash agglomerates for amount of rupees 2,40,000. He also conducted more than 10 faculty development programs, short-term programs, webinars, and international conferences under the support of AICT and TNACST scheme. He received the Best Faculty Award, KCT's Achiever Award, and Young Faculty Award from Kumaraguru College of Technology, Coimbatore. Also, he got a Best Alumni Award from the Tyagaraja Polytechnic College, Salem, Tamil Nadu. He published more than 30 research papers in reputed national and international journals and conference proceedings. It's a pleasure to have you for this fourth day of faculty development program. Once again, I welcome you, sir. Now I request you to take over the session.
Thank you, madam. Hope I am audible. Ma'am.
Yes, sir, you are audible, sir. You can continue, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. With your permission, I wanted to share my screen and also I wanted to.
Okay, sir, you can now screen the share, sir.
Is it okay, ma'am, now?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
sir, it's visible, sir.
Thank you very much. First of all, good morning to one and all present in the virtual group. At the outset, I wanted to pay my deepest gratitude and thanks for the head of the department, principal, and all the professors for giving me all the professors of Sanskrithi College of Engineering, Puttaparthi, for School of Engineering, Puttaparthi.
Thank you, sir.
For giving this workshop on the topic of composite material application engineering with the learned group as well as the students who are present in the virtual group. Uh, of course, coming on to the topic, of course, I made my presentation content in such a way that, first let me introduce what is composite is all about and what makes the composite the constituents. Then what are the types of composites starting from the traditional composites to maybe the green composite that is being widely used at present. Then I wanted to give at least the almost the 10 to 15 examples of the composite material that is being widely used in the applications of all streams of engineering, including civil, biomedical, aerospace, aeronautical, even the sports field, whatever it is being used, I wanted to touch upon that. Then why people want to do more research on composite and what makes them to go for composite? What are the benefits they wanted to hasten about the particular the composite material by introducing to the world that I wanted to share among all of you. Then I wanted to touch upon some of the important applications, whatever we are currently making use of it and how it is supporting for the benefit of the sustainability of achieving the sustainability as well as sustainable goals that are spoken today widely by many of the institutions. That is very important because, any material we develop, it should not spoil the specifics which generation need. That is what, in the present, of course, we wanted to go for development. Keeping this as maybe in our mind, how far these particular composites are widely used for the benefit of supporting towards sustainability that I wanted to discuss, and I want to leave the session for at least 10 to 15 minutes for the any queries to be answered. Hope I am audible, madam. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Audible, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Don't mistake me. Just I wanted to check it because I am talking to the group. Sometimes because of the internet problem, we may miss the audience. That is why kindly excuse me, sir, madam. Kindly excuse me.
Okay, sir.
Right. So coming on to the introduction to composite material, of course, it is nothing but a combination of two or more different materials that results in superior, often stronger product. That is what very important because whenever we aim for any material, it should give the superior quality of the because by removing the shortcomings of the individual material, we wanted to combine together and then we wanted to make a superior material. That is what the idea behind the going for research in the composite material. Simply, composites are the combination of components, you see, and an ideal composite. An ideal composite is made up of material that complement each other's shortcoming. That is very, very important because, when we say the concrete, we know pretty well it is good in compression, but whereas weak in tension. Similarly, as a civil engineer, we know pretty well. Again, in order to make a certain pose, even though RCC will act as a monolithic or maybe a single material, but by means of doing the RCC, it is called as one of the finest innovations. That is what in civil engineering. Like that, when the shortcomings are there, that has to be removed by means of combining two the material. That is what the composite material definition says. Coming on to the constituents, what makes the composite constituents? That is very important. There are, of course, two phases. One is the matrix phase, another is the disperse phase. It will make the composite because whenever we are doing some composite, obviously, we must have matrix phase should be there in order to maybe attach or glue certain the disperse phase. That is why, in a simple term, of course, the matrix phase, which will be obviously almost in all places, whereas disperse phase, of course, in the form of fibers or in the form of particulate, of course, it can be used. That is what is continuous, but whereas disperse phase is discontinuous. Just for the better understanding, I wanted to go for the quickly, I wanted to give you a short video presentation where we can able to understand about the composite. Is my videos visible, ma'am? Sound, of course, do not worry about the sound. Is my videos visible, ma'am?
Yes, sir. It's visible.
Thanks. Hope my screen is visible, ma'am.
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Sorry for a repeated thing. Anyhow, you see, that is what, we are seeing. You see, a glue like the disperse phase, suppose it will be obviously, maybe a matrix phase will be there in order to form the composite material. But whereas in the form of maybe the particulate, the fiber, all those things, we can make use of it. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, Sonan, sir. Thank you very much. We can go for the creation of the composite material. That is what, it is very important, because without having dispersed phase as well as matter phase, it is very difficult to form the composite. But it could be of any form, maybe a glue form or maybe in tying form, whatever the form. In a simple terms, the polymeric matrix and the reinforcement fibers, it will come up a composite. You see, the reinforcement material, that could be a glass fiber, natural fiber, carbon fiber. That is what the research nowadays is going on. We call it as a composite, green composite. Of course, the bamboo is almost, it is being implemented maybe in the place of reinforcement. Like that, many research is going on. My idea behind sharing this to all of you, our young student friends, as well as the professors individual who are about to start their research work, better it can throw some light on the natural fibers, how it can be used for the benefit of maybe in the field of engineering. So that would be highly helpful. Again, when we use some sort of particular metal like sand, talc, other things, the color shapes, all those things. So what is the purpose of making use of these two, sir? You see, when the polymer binds the reinforcement, when you are binding with reinforcement, it should be more structural. That is what, it can be used for the structural purposes. Suppose, for example, if we make use of the particulate, maybe other matters together, it should be aesthetic looks. That is what, like the ceramics, all those things, even recycling as a stand, like that we can make use of it. That is what depends on the situation, depends on the requirement. Of course, we can be able to go for the manufacturing of the composite material. That is what the idea behind maybe sharing this slide to all of you. Again, coming on to the types of composite. Of course, traditional composite. Many composite material is being used maybe in the 1800 years, maybe from the year 1800, because people, without knowing the properties of the material, without knowing the the physical and mechanical properties of the material, they keep on using it by virtue of the quality and also abundance that is available in the place wherever they are living. In our ancestral or maybe in the traditional period also, the composites are used. But now only, we are in the process of highlighting those, and also we are doing some sort of engineering work on that, and we are putting the mechanical, physical, all the properties to the world, so that, it can be documented. And if at all you want, we can make use of, or we will try to mimic the traditional materials, especially for the benefit of the restoration of the structures, or maybe all those the monumental structures, we can go for it. That is what the idea began, giving some light on the traditional composite. Again, some advance of technology, of course, it helped us to go for some sort of conventional composite. From there, by modifying some of the properties, we went for advanced composites. Nowadays, the green concepts is part of the all composite material. How best this particular the green composites can be widely used for the benefit of humankind. That is what the research is being focused by many researchers. Of course, the green composites and how it can be used, because the green is nothing but the renewables. That is what, we are focusing. You see, the metal matrix composite, the ceramic matrix, all those things, the initial form, then synthetic fibers, almost, civil engineers, pretty well, fiber reinforced concrete, like that, fiber reinforced plastic, many composite, they came into existence. But whereas now we are taking the center stage of the natural fibers, where it can be called as green, which can be biodegradable as well if it is afterlife when it put into the environment. That is what the idea. Again, you see, this is called as traditional composite. 2 examples are the mud bricks. Mud bricks, even, the ancient time, from the ancient time, we are using it without knowing mud and straw, when it is combined together, it can be capable of maybe taking, or it can be put into the superstructure. That is what, people say. You see, straw was resistant to strengthening and the dried mud copes for compression. That is why, this is one of the simplest example how the traditional material can be combined together and can be used as one of the maybe the composite. Again, wood, of course, it is a natural composite. That is what, actually is a composite material made up of long fiber of cellulose, which will be supported by the lignin, maybe the adhesive like lignin. So that is what, it is very important because nowadays, having this property, even though, we are making, 3-ply, 4-ply woods, so that, that is why it is called as engineer wood. We are making by means of putting parallel as well as maybe perpendicular grains of plywood, we are increasing the strength and we are using it for the benefit of maybe building constructions, all those things. So the plywood flexibility and software qualities allow nailing into that is what, this particular composite. Of course, the natural wood, that itself a composite material because, the fibers, long fibers are almost, held together by a substance called lignin. But again, the we could also can be made into like ironwood by means of maybe reinforcing with alternate layer of parallel as well as the perpendicular grains of the wood. That is what, we civil engineers use it. This is all the traditional composite. Coming on to the conventional, the fiber glass, of course, is simply a plastic that is combined with glass fibers. Of course, this is one of the good innovations, for used for bathtub, even door, decking, all those things. What is the best quality, sir? Whenever we use the fiberglass, windows, thin fiberglass and window panel both have identical coefficient of expansion. That is what, this will not expand separately and this will not maybe go for expansion or contraction separately. That is what, hot and cold temperature, the entire window expand and contract as one place. That is what, the advantage of using maybe fiberglass maybe in window panels. Of course, in civil engineering, we are extensively using. Then, the transparent concrete. People are nowadays, of course, civil engineers will appreciate the transparent concrete. As we know, the concrete is a primitive example of composite material because, in the initial days, concrete, as long as you mix the amalgamation of the cement, sand, blue metal, and you keep water separately, it will look like a simple material. But when you add water, it will start binding and then give you the good strength according to the design, whatever we make. Similarly, by means of introducing the optic fibers, maybe like which look like a fiberglass, we can able to make a transparent concrete. The look and feel of the concrete can vary depending upon the ratio of cement to the optic fibers. By means of increasing or reducing, of course, we can able to have, you see, a girl who is standing behind the concrete, we can able to see the skeleton. Likewise, for making elegance, appearance, of course, we can go for it. But anyhow, the use is according to the engineering charge decision, of course, we can make use of it. But nevertheless, the innovations, it is keep on going on maybe in order to make use of maybe for supporting the lighting inside the room, all those things, of course, innovations are going on. That is what, I wanted to convey through this. Again, you will appreciate the thirsty concrete, the absorbent concrete, which can able to absorb, within 60 seconds, you can able to absorb, obviously, closer to 5,000 liters of water, which is called as the permeable concrete. Of course, many of our civil engineering professors as well as students, they will be doing some research. Of course, we also won in our institution, we won the TAMILNAD Skill Summit Award of the first prize to an extent of the 50,000 which cash prize we won by means of doing this permeable concrete, and also nowadays we are doing some research on lightweight permeable concrete, so that in water bodies by means of putting the solar panels in the concrete, we can able to float in the water body so that we can try to avoid the evaporation. Like that, some innovations are going on. Of course, we can also try at your end so that it can be a good contribution for the benefit of maybe the civil engineering field. That is what the idea of again sharing this. Again, designers and architects, especially for pavement, these type of concretes are widely used. This type of concrete can prove to be useful in dealing with flooding. Of course, wherever you find flooding, this could be highly helpful. It will act as a sponge. Sometimes, sometimes it will try to penetrate. In such a way, we'll try to make use of it just by modifying some of the properties or by means of adding some sort of the agents, maybe the concrete. Of course, by extensively studying it, we can be able to do that. That is what the idea. Again, the kalwa, maybe this is one of the important material, especially for the people, for the benefit of army people, they use it. You see, extremely high tensile strength. This is highly tensile strength, and it can resist suction quite well. That is what, the kalwa compression is about 1/10 of its tensile strength, and then it is combined into composite. You see, airplane, boats, bicycle, motorcycle, clothing, the Nike shoes, all those things, they almost take the advantage of kalwa high tensile strength property. Even for gloves, even body armoring, maybe all those things, we can make use of it. That is what, this is one of the material. Of course, some research people are doing on this as well. How best in medical fields and medical textiles, people are doing this type of the research. Again, carbon fibers is not a new one. Of course, carbon is widely used for the benefit of civil engineering as well as other engineering aspects as well, especially in nano, the recent nanotechnology. Of course, people are using this. Carbon fiber is often combined with plastics. It is called as carbon fiber or reinforced polymer. Again, it can be used for airplane wings, automobile body parts, and sports equipment. The benefit of carbon fiber include high stiffness and strength, lightness. You see, that is very important. So whenever you go for the material, it should always light. Again, corrosion resistance and low coefficient of thermal expansion. So it does not expand and contract very well. By means of having these properties, the carbon fibers are also used extensively for the benefit of maybe in the engineering field. Again, you will appreciate this. The picrete. The picrete maybe is one of the famous the frozen ice composite, where approximately 14% of sawdust, another form of wood pulp, which will be mingled with 86% of ice. You see, 6 to 1% by weight. You see, during World War II, of course, it can be used as the supervised aircraft carrier for British Royal Navy. Picrete is also known as bulletproof ice. I wanted to just play this video for the better understanding of you see how the picrete can be tested, and then it can be used. We can make use of it. Please don't worry about audio. Just see the video aspect. Is my video visible, ma'am?
Yes, sir, it's visible, sir.
Is the video visible, sir?
Yes,
Thank
sir,
you, madam.
visible.
Thank you, madam.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. So just by combining the sawdust as well as the use as a bulletproof material.
I'm here to smash the picrete.
Mike meets with Rick Dunn at the Bull Meadow Rifle Range
There we
to
go.
perform his own battery tests.
Right first. Whoa! It disappeared. So, is that what we're going to do the picrete now? We'll do the picrete and see the test results. I have to admit, I'm impressed. What a difference. How incredibly strong the picrete is. Now that didn't do nearly as much. And how simple it is to make. As it melts, the outer layer softens and creates its own insulation. You're lucky breaking the rest of it frozen. That's not gonna break. Might have to shoot with the shotgun to get it apart. I'm starting to think there may actually be something about this crazy scheme of building a ship, not of ice, but of picrete.
Is my screen is visible, ma'am?
Yes, sir, it's visible, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. You see, that is what, it is, you see, when we combine with wood pulp, it can be 14 times stronger than ice. You see, he is shooting with two specimen. One is made up of ice, another is made up of maybe the picrate. Of course, this type of material can be made, and especially in army, and it is highly useful because, in Rajasthan and all, by means of this bulletproof material, they just simply add the sand, and then they will put up the barrier to hide and maybe shoot the enemies. Like this, some material they are using it for the benefit of maybe protecting our motherland. You see the pike reinforced ice dome, of course they are doing it. So that is what, the honeycomb structure, of course, many of our civil engineers, they know pretty well what is honeycomb is all about. So the broad category of composite that all share the same characteristics of honeycomb design. Man-made composite of honeycomb is useful because it's high compressive and shear strength. Honeycomb design, why we are going, sir? Because can make products cheaper since less material is required and to achieve the same desires, and that is very important. You see, likewise, by means of having a honeycomb structures, we can go for maybe creating this type of things can be used for even lightweight, and also can be used in the roof as well for making the big stadiums, all those things you can go for it. Again, during the time of tsunami, of course, we also went and did some good charitable work in the Nagapattinam area. The engineered bamboo, that is the plywood bamboo strips, can be glued together, can be used as a flooring. Again, this type of the what you call temporary sheds can be made by means of maybe using the bamboo. Thereby, we can able to provide the temporary shelters for the people who are affected by some of the natural disasters. Of course, we can do that. That is what very important. This is just comes to show how useful bamboo can be in lightweight construction application. Of course, when you go to Japan, we know pretty well it is highly earthquake-prone area. That is why many of the Japanese construction it is based on bamboo, because even though because of earthquake, if at all any massacre happen, people's lives can be saved. That is what the idea behind using bamboo as one of the construction material, especially in the high earthquake-prone areas. Again, I wanted to throw some light on the benefits of composite. Why we have to give some sort of the research, or why we have to make use of certain composite material, maybe in our engineering side, because extremely durable. That is what number one property says. According to maybe the people who loves the composite work, it is extremely durable, light in weight, low in weight, impact resistance. You see, the pike we have seen, even though we know the back force of the bullet, when go and hit, how it is highly resistive. Again, design flexibility, where and all you wanted to do it. So it need not that we have to wantonly do it. Where and all it is possible, we can able to do it, and then we can able to make it as a monolithic one, maybe in our design. High strength to weight ratio. Again, part consolidation. This is very important because by means of making different material, composite material, you can make as a one material by means of part consolidation. Again, corrosion resistance. This is one of the finest property which I believe with respect to the composite material. Again, heat resistance and toughness. Toughness, even though it may look like a paper, but it's highly tough to tear, highly tough to pierce it. Like that. Again, sound dampening. This is one of the property which will be highly used maybe in the recreation centers like cinema theaters and all, where you wanted to keep the sound intact. Again, insulation properties. These are all the good properties of the composite, because the good qualities of two materials are combined together. That is why most of the composite material, it will suffice the notable properties whatever we are discussing here. With respect to the corrosion resistance, that is what I told you. Composites offer very good corrosion resistance and find widespread use in the corrosive environment, especially the cladding for roofs and walls, sea walls, where you will be getting the corrosion resistance. when you go for concrete, we have to go for maybe the retrofitting, but this type of the composite material highly helps. Maybe in the seashore structures and water handling system, wherever we have salt watering, all those things we can make use of it. The thermal properties, composite have very low coefficient of thermal expansion, not prone to expansion and contraction, offer low thermal conductivity. That is why, without having any hesitation, of course, we'll try to make use of it in most of the places whenever you find good composite material. Again, water exposure. So perform well in water exposed condition. It holds water in or keeps the water out. So whatever the property is intended for, of course, it can able to support, does not rot, swell, rust and spoil. That is very important. Whenever we make use of, suppose if you go to the concrete or maybe the brick, this type of the failures may happen, but once it is made, it will be long lasting forever. That is what. Again, composites are light-weight material but strong and stiff. Composites are much stronger and stiffer than pure polymers. Going for instead of pure polymers, we'll go for the combination. Coming on to the wood, it is stronger and stiffer. It can be made. Again, the concrete can be made superior strength. That is what you can say. Again, composite can have specific strength, specific stiffness similar to steel. So that is what people are trying to make use of this property in the concrete. They wanted to replace the steel and then try to make use of the green composite maybe in reinforcement and then make it as a wonderful material like RCC. Again, you name any field in engineering. Composites are wider applications. Here I wanted to touch upon some of the important fields where we use this composite, especially in building construction application. Of course, this type of cladding material can be for improving the daylighting as well as maybe so supporting for the alternate energy as well as use of daylighting and also elegance, all those things you can make use of it at this particular composites. Again, automobile industries where most of the parts of the car, everything we can try to make use of it. In those days, whenever the car is getting damaged, we have to go and remove the entire parts. Nowadays it is not so. Only the part where it is getting damaged, including the color composition, everything can be done in such a way. The composites are highly helping for the part integration as well as the applications. Again, aeronautical applications, structural components like wings, all those things, the rocket, armor, missiles, everything, it is highly usable. Again, marine application, the shaft, hulls, all those things, it is highly usable. Coming under the helmet, of course, the protective helmets, especially civil engineers, we wear helmet and then go for site inspection. For that, these composite materials are highly helpful because when we go for composite material, the light in weight helps us to do all sorts of maybe the goodness with respect to material improvement or sometimes, material cost reduction, all those things. But the safety aspect, that is very important. Sports equipment like tennis racket and then, golf sticks, you can go for it. Communication, like the industries, the antennas and then, the circuit boards, of course, you name any engineering, biomedical engineering, yes, application of you name any engineering, composites are the unavoidable things nowadays. It is being widely used in all sorts of engineering. Coming on to the automatic, of course, the first commercial car bodies used composites, maybe in the year 1950. But you see the significant utilization of the unique design, including for various things. What properties make them to make use of this particular composite? Maybe in automobile industries, they say they have the design freedom, which part to be made, they can able to make it and then integrate. Low weight, that is also very important. Part consolidation, as I already told you, part by part, we can make it and then, try to join or try to make it as a monolithic one. The corrosion resistance, that is very important. You see the carbon fiber electrical bicycle, these are all the things highly used by the automotive engineers or automobile engineers. This is hull portion. This hull portion, there's a blimizol mark. Up until this mark, we can able to load the structure. The blimizol mark is nothing but the mark. Until this, and also it has to maybe proper design flexibility that can impact resistance, because the loading, unloading, sometimes it may go and cause some sort of impact. Again, corrosion, because it is sailing in the sea. Of course, we have the sea water, highly the chloride content water or brackish water. It can capable of moving the sea. It should not go and corrode. That is what this property helps us go for the composite, especially in the marine applications as well. As I already told you, the aerospace, closer to 8% was used maybe in the 70s. Now, most of the aircrafts, they use the composite, 80% by volume, 50% by weight. Of course, what property makes them to go for it, sir? Because lightweight should be there, because whenever the aircraft lift, as well as maybe for the operation of the safe landing, as well as maybe takeoff. Again, high strength with the low weight and high strength. Again, design pertaining to aerodynamics, the sound dampening. That is also, when it takes off, you can find many the huge sound, but the people who sit inside the aeroplane, they could not able to hear it. Likewise, we can go for it. Again, acoustic panels, the tiles can be used, and then we can make use of it for the benefit of they're creating very good the acoustic proof theaters, recreation theaters, or maybe the discotheque clubs. All those things could be possible by means of creating. Again, I wanted to give some light, because the wind is generated the blades. Obviously, these blades are a fiber imposed supply, maybe on 30-meter elevation. It has to rotate by means of yawing through the wind speed, moving towards the wind speed, and then it has to generate the electricity when it is put into the onshore, also in onshore and offshore. That is what only 50-meter diameter, 50 kV turbines nowadays you see. Obviously, the bigger capacity, bigger turbines. Many companies like Enercon, Mid India, many companies, they almost a twin-blade, three-blade setup. It has come up, but what is the property it is helping us for? High strength, low weight, again toughness, the corrosion resistance. All those things highly helpful for making this wind electric generator, the blades, and then so that it can maybe in the tip we can add the oil mechanism, and then we can rotate the wig for the sensing the wind direction, and then generate electricity. Or nowadays, the entire the wing is also used for the oil mechanism, and then you can go for sensing the wind and rotate for generating the power. In such a way, we can make use of it. You see, one of the important applications in construction, many construction panel, we call it as metal composite panel, MCP. So metal composite material are typically used in external cladding and building. See, for bringing elegance and also the natural daylighting, all those things can be possible when you go for the mechanical metal composite panels or metal composite material. They can be bent, curved, and joined together. All these things possible, sir. The unlimited range of configurations, that is very important, making them popular with architects, engineers of composite. That is what architects, when they draw something like this, of course, can able to make it. In such a way, of course, these composites are highly helpful. That is what this is being wide in order to improve the elegance of the building as well as natural daylighting. So it is highly useful in certain industry. Again, aluminum composite material, sometimes referred to as aluminum composite panel, typically on same panel used to provide aesthetic qualities to building, or flat panels. Sometimes thin aluminum sheets can also be used for the benefit of creating the aesthetic as well as improvement of lighting inside the building. Again, for heavy trucks, sir, whenever you wanted to, in those days, only little percent durability, high heat resistance. That is what very important. So sometimes, whenever we make use of it, the high resistance, heat resistance property, is one of the important property. That is why it is widely used in heavy trucks, especially in automobile area. Again, this can be used for industrial application also. Many composites are used for the industrial applications, for storage tank, especially chemical storages. Similarly, water storages, or sometimes, acid storage like that, we can go for it, and electrical components. What makes it, sir? The durability, insulation property, corrosion resistance is highly important, because, sometimes you use to store acid or highly acidic liquids like that, even, the wastewater which is containing acid nature liquid, all those things. What is the purpose, sir? By extending the life of the equipment and facilitate safer handling, all those things, even the tank itself, huge weight, it's very difficult to move by means of having lightweight tanks, and also which is the leak free. When it is made as a monolithic one, obviously what happens, this can be highly usable in the form of maybe industry as well. That is what, so that this is what I told you. So this type of, even the sheet-like or maybe the cloth-like structures can be combined together. In that, we can pour the sand, and then we can make use of it as the camouflage barrier in the army, especially when they are putting in border area of Rajasthan, all those things. That is what, even sometimes this can be used as a water storing tank for the benefit of storing the water in the military area where water is so scarce. We can make use of it like that. We can go for making use of composite. Again, sir, composite, it should be nowadays, we are hearing the sustainable development concepts widely, and nowadays even many of our students are also forced to give their concept of what their project, how they wanted to make their project for towards the achievement of sustainable development goals, 17 goals. Like that, we are moving for that. What is the sustainability says, sir? Without spoiling any of the future generation, any work we do in the present, that is called as sustainable development. That is what the Brundtland Commission says. Sir, we can do any work in the present. We can do any research work, any policy, anything you can do in the present, but it should not spoil the future generation in such a way. Whenever we do any activity, that particular activity, that particular policy, that particular material, everything is called as sustainable. That is what, we say the sustainable development, or moving towards 17 goals of sustainable development. One of the goals says, we have to create the infrastructure using sustainable nature, so that, we can able to tap the benefits of the composite material for the benefit of creating peace in the society, for the benefit of protecting the planet, for the benefit of people, and then in prosperity of the society and partnerships. And likewise, we can include any material maybe towards the sustainable development. Of course, we are doing that also, sir, with respect to the composite. Nowadays, people are talking about sustainable composite. That is what, the buzzword. Of course, people are making use of it, especially the alternate energy side. When you talk about wind energy, almost, we use the wind energy blades. These blades are made up of the fiber reinforced plastics. Like that, GRP. Even for pipeline, you can go for fiber reinforced plastic, glass reinforced pipe. Everything is possible. That is what, it is highly usable in alternative energy side. You see, wind energy can be used. Again, government initiatives. So as the government takes some initiatives, we can go for making use of that. Again, weight reduction, wherever weight reduction is very, very important. Of course, I'll give you an example, maybe the last slide, which is one of the unique things, weight reduction, of course. Again, pollution prevention applications. For example, if you want to go for maybe the sustainable plastic or sustainable biocompost plastics are available nowadays. Again, green building. People are talking about green building programs, where how best we can able to improve daylighting by means of providing gladings, maybe in the high-rise building. Again, stormwater handling, we can go for the inserting the, no need to construct the tank. We can just by inserting the tank in the yet we can able to house the water. Renewable energy, of course, like wind energy generators, everything, we can go for usage of put into a same packet, but when it is blended together, there is leakage and also maybe other benefits. That is what, the green building or the green builders are allowed to do that. Even though a little bit costly enough, but nevertheless, they will be supporting for the benefit of the environmental protection. That is what you see. What makes the properties are the durability, insulation, low weight, easy to turn, because low weight means easy to transport and reuse. That is very important. That is what, the modern day composite, it is highly useful, sir. That is what, even though nowadays panel, whatever they, they make use of a groove joint panel so that, whenever they want, they can use it, or whenever they want to dismantle, then dismantle, take it to the new side. Again, it can incorporate bio and recyclable content. You see, the plastic recyclable content can be used. All those things is possible. Bio means which can be degradable by organism, and recyclable content. You can offer material reduction. So you see, whenever we use the virgin material, we have to pay more quantities. When we try to go for recycle, obviously 10 to 15% or maximum 30% we can able to replace. That is what Barcelona cement says that. So Barcelona cement OPC is a virgin one, sir. When you go for PPC by adding fly ash, you can able to make it as one of the finest composer. Likewise, of course, all the combination we cannot say it is composite, but some property when it is enhanced by adding or by means of mingling particular material, definitely we can say it is a composite material. That is what. Again, composite fabricators are responding to the demand because whenever we are producing good material, they are making use of it in their buildings. And then, they allow to go for recycled content, renewable content, like that, they are ready to use whatever we say in the form of the sustainability. When we prove the quality, definitely the green builders are ready to support and then embrace us for implementing in their buildings and then structures. Coming on to the new topic, of course, where wide research is going on, the green composite and combine natural fibers. That is what very important. Natural fibers like the bamboo. Similarly, we can all the natural fibers. Of course, we can sometimes the natural resins make a light and strong composite that are recyclable or biodegradable by a trigger. That is what very important. So you see, recently might have been I heard maybe newspaper, in Israel, bioplastics or even plastics can biodegradable. Like that, we can able to see some sort of good innovation. We also throw some light and then try to go for getting the green composite, like the plant resources, green fibers, green polymers, like that, we can go for the composition. Of course, by doing the literature, by modifying some of the properties, you can able to create wonderful the composite material. That is what I wanted to say. Even some of the kitchen cabinet, especially for ladies, the copper bottom utensils. Of course, even in the kitchen cabinet, these composite materials are having wider applications where we can able to make use of these composites for the benefit of not only for the engineering application, even for home appliances, even for the medical as well as sports appliances, we can use it and then we can hasten the benefit of the composite material. You see, this is what, the green biocomposite for circular application. Of course, by finding a specific fiber, they can try to go for fiber matrix adhesion. Like that, they form a beautiful natural fiber. After that, they will try to make it as a biocompost. So I wanted to just quickly show the video how this particular maybe the bamboo can be used as one of the is my video visible? Is my video
Yes, sir.
visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's visible.
हाय फ्रेंड्स, क्या हम बैम्बू को एज ए स्ट्रक्चरल रेनफोर्समेंट यूज कर सकते हैं? एंड द आंसर इज यस. Concrete is difficult material, so we create paper, but steel is toughened material, strong in tension. अब ये एक बीम जैसे इसके ऊपर ट्रांसवर्स लोडिंग आता है, इसके वजह से बीम में होता है बेंडिंग और ऊपर की फाइबर चला जाता है कंप्रेशन में और नीचे की फाइबर चला जाता है टेंशन। बट कंक्रीट ब्रिटल मटेरियल है, तो ये टेंशन नहीं झेल पाता है, इसकी वजह से बीम की टेंशन पार्ट में क्रैक आ जाता है। इस क्रैक को रोकने के लिए हम लोग टेंशन पार्ट में स्टील प्रोवाइड करते हैं जो टेंशन को झेल लेता है। सो फ्रेंड्स, स्टील की जगह बैम्बू को भी हम लोग रेनफोर्समेंट की तौर पर यूज कर सकते हैं। फ्रेंड्स, देखते हैं कंक्रीट मिक्स प्रोपोर्शन क्या होना चाहिए। स्टील रेनफोर्समेंट की तरह सेम मिक्स ही हम लोग बैम्बू रेनफोर्समेंट में यूज कर सकते हैं। बट स्लैम का वैल्यू जितना कम हो सकता है, मतलब जितना ड्राई हो सकता है उतना बेटर है, क्योंकि ज्यादा वाटर रहने से बैम्बू में स्वेलिंग हो सकता है। हाई आर्ली स्ट्रेंथ सीमेंट यूज करते हैं क्रैक को मिनिमाइज करने के लिए। अब फ्रेंड्स देखते हैं प्लेसमेंट ऑफ बैम्बू। सरफेस से रेनफोर्समेंट की डिस्टेंस 1.5 इंच से कम नहीं होना चाहिए एंड दोनों रेनफोर्समेंट के बीच मिनिमम केयर डिस्टेंस होना चाहिए मैक्सिमम साइज ऑफ एग्रीगेट प्लस 1.4 इंच। दो स्टीरअप के बीच का डिस्टेंस 6 इंच से ज्यादा नहीं होना चाहिए। अब बैम्बू रेनफोर्समेंट की एडवांटेजेस को देख लेते हैं। एक्सट्रीमली स्ट्रॉन्ग नेचुरल फाइबर, इसका नेचुरल फाइबर एक्सट्रीमली स्ट्रॉन्ग होता है, इसका टेंसाइल स्ट्रेंथ भी हाई होता है और ये लाइट वेट कॉम्पेयर टू स्टील से लाइट वेट होता है। लो कॉस्ट एंड एनवायरमेंट फ्रेंडली, इसका कॉस्ट भी स्टील से कम है और ये एनवायरमेंट फ्रेंडली भी है। हैज ए ग्रेट टेंसाइल स्ट्रेंथ एंड स्टील ड्यू टू हॉलो स्ट्रक्चर हाईली फ्लेक्सिबल, इसका बीच का इसका हॉलो होता है इसलिए ये बहुत ज्यादा फ्लेक्सिबल होता है। अब दोस्तों इसके साथ कुछ डिसएडवांटेज है, उसको भी हम लोग देख लेते हैं। पहला डिसएडवांटेज है लो ड्यूरेबिलिटी दैट स्टील कैनॉट यूज फॉर परमानेंट स्ट्रक्चर, इसका ड्यूरेबिलिटी स्टील से कम होता है और इसके वजह से हम लोग इसको परमानेंट स्ट्रक्चर की तौर पे यूज नहीं कर सकते हैं। दूसरा प्रॉब्लम है इसका लीकेज प्रॉब्लम। तीसरा है पुअर एडहेरेंस विद कंक्रीट, जो स्टील रॉड्स होता है तो उसके साथ कंक्रीट का बॉन्ड बहुत ही अच्छा होता है बट बैम्बू के साथ इतना अच्छा नहीं होता है। मोर प्रोन टू एनवायरमेंट डिग्रेडेशन एंड इंसेक्ट अटैक, इसके ऊपर ज्यादा इंसेक्ट अटैक होता है और इसके वजह से जल्दी डैमेज हो सकता है। ड्यू टू लो मॉड्यूलस ऑफ इलास्टिसिटी इट कैन क्रैक स्टील एंड डिफ्लेक्ट मोर देन स्टील। लो मॉड्यूलस ऑफ इलास्टिसिटी की वजह से ये जल्दी क्रैक एंड स्टील से ज्यादा डिफ्लेक्ट होता है। फ्रेंड्स, hope you understand this video. If you understand, then like this video.
Is my screen visible, ma'am? Is my screen visible, sir?
Yes, sir. Visible.
Thank you, ma'am. So that is what, the natural fiber. Of course, we know pretty well steel, concrete makes more affinity with steel, and then, it acts as a monolithic material. But nevertheless, research is going on with the natural composites, where we can make use of it for the benefit of the structural elements or structural applications. The idea behind is, wherever it can be used, like as I already told you, to prevent or to maybe natural disasters like earthquake, and also, the massacres, all those things can be preventable whenever we use this type of bamboo-based structures. And then, we will try to make use of the biocomposite, maybe in our structural application, because we civil engineers always move with the concept of the safety aesthetic as well as safety economy in a C model design, because we will not compromise. All the engineers, we won't compromise on safety whenever we make any product, and we'll give due diligence for economy as well before we give due importance for aesthetic or maybe the beautifulness. That is what we always do, whether we mechanical or civil engineer. But nevertheless, whenever we use the material, especially in the for making any product, of course, the composites are highly suitable, especially the composites of conventional composites as well as the advanced composites are highly suitable. Nowadays, research is going on in order to improve the biocomposite, because the need of the hour is we have to think of the going green and also go for biodegradation of any material. That is what nowadays this type of research is going on. You see, it could be woven or it could be like that. The many things are there. It could be woven material, or it could be maybe unidirectional, biaxial, whatever we think. Of course, all are research level only. Of course, the proven track research, it can be taken to again the field by means of having the concrete tests in the prototype as well as maybe using in the real field applications. That is what the idea behind sharing this slide. Of course, I request or maybe urge the research community to throw some light on the green biocomposites whenever if you are interested to work on the composite material. There are plenty of version of opportunities available for the researchers to throw some light on the composite material. That is what I wanted to say. Please make note of it. With this, maybe whenever we go for the combination of composites, is highly useful for the benefit of maybe the engineering as well as for the benefit of common people. Again, before I move on to the important slide, you see the proverb says the scientist discovers new type of material or energy, and the engineer discovers a new use for it. So that is what we do. And one of the American civil engineers said, we, the ideal engineers, are composite because we are not scientists, we are not mathematicians, we are not sociologists or writers, but we have to have the knowledge of using it in an amalgamated spirit and also maybe to solve for any engineering problem. That is what so before I wanted to go for disclaimer, and of course we know about Dr. Abdul Kalam because he is fondly called as people's president of India. Out of his 7 notable innovations, one of the NGO asked which one is the best. He said, the lightweight calipers, what he made by means of
Hello, sir.
use of the rocket composite material into making lightweight caliber. That is what my screen is visible, man. Hope my screen is visible, man.
No, sir, it's not visible now.
Man? One minute, madam. 1 minute. I will.
Okay, sir, no problem.
1 minute, madam. 1 minute. Sorry for inconvenience. Okay, ma'am?
Yes, sir, now it's
Okay now?
visible.
Is it okay now? You see that is what he said. Out of 7 innovations, that is what he said. Out of 7 innovations, Excuse me.
Yes.
Some disturbance is there now. Excuse me. Somebody kept. Okay. Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Excuse me. Kindly excuse me because some natural disturbance is there. The power failures are there. Maybe how far it is in Andhra Pradesh, we do not know. Some sort of power failure.
Okay, no problem, sir. You can continue.
Sorry for the inconvenience, I kindly take the pardon for. Is my screen visible now?
Yes, sir. Visible now.
You see, this is one of the finest. Is it okay now, ma'am? Is it okay now?
Sir, okay, sir, now. Okay,
Thank you.
sir.
Thank you. So this is one of the finest innovations, of course, done by Dr. Abdul Kalam. He said, out of his 7 innovations, whatever, he found out, maybe when he was in the highest realm of office of ours, he said, this is one of the finest innovations because the weight of the caliber it is reduced by 1/10. That is what, where is 4 kg, where is 400 grams. You just imagine. That is why, when an NGO asked about out of 7 innovations, which one is best? He is fondly called as missile man of India, but he said, that and all secondary. I love to work for the common people. He said, such a word, you're such a word from top class person that it alone motivates us, to go for new innovation as well as new material. So I humbly request the community people who are in the virtual loop, the research community people who are in the virtual loop, give some positive contribution, which will be highly helpful for the benefit of human being and which can be highly supportive enough for the benefit of the human being as well as the common people. That is what we can learn from our own people's president, Dr. Abdul Kalam. With these positive words, I wanted to go for disclaimer slide, where all the contents, whatever I used, maybe from web content, for the benefit of sharing knowledge to our own people who are in the virtual, and also not for claiming as my own the innovation. With this, the disclaimer statement, I profusely thank once again for the organizers to give me the chance to share some of the important aspects with respect to the composite material that are being widely used in engineering and some of the new innovative topics where the researchers can throw some light on the composite material. With this, I hand over the session to organizers for maybe setting the stage for asking any questions for answers. Madam, over to you, madam.
Okay, thank you for your presentation, sir. It's really nice. We gain so much knowledge about materials, trends in the material technology. Dear participants, if you have any queries, you can over to you.
Madam, hope I'm on time, madam.
Yes, sir, no problem.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay. Sir, I think no queries from participant side, I think.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
So,
Sir,
even though it is not now, kindly have the privilege of asking me through mail or maybe all the connects are there in the virtual or maybe in the internet. Kindly have the privilege of asking.
yeah,
Of course,
sure, sir, sure.
many research is going on in our institution. As I already told we have won the Sibaka Award for lightweight concrete and also permeable concrete. We won Tamilnad Skill Development State Award. Like that,
Yes.
many research is going on. We have one designated structural technology center. Whenever officials visit from Puttaparthi, you kindly have the privilege of coming to our own institution, madam. Whenever you visit Coimbatore, Ashwati, madam.
Yes, yeah. Oh, no, sir, I'm just a assistant professor here. Uh,
Thank you, madam. Thank you, madam.
it's okay. Yeah, sure, sir, we'll come once. Sir, first of all, I would want to take this opportunity to express my gratitude for the moving speech you gave us during this webinar session,
Thank you,
but
madam. Thank you,
also
madam.
moved by your presentation manner, sir. Listening to your insightful remarks and learning so much from them is a wonderful joy. I would want to thank you on behalf of our whole management and students who have been enthralled by your presentation, sir. I'm grateful to you for bringing up the topic of in your speech and raising so much awareness of material technology.
Thank you, madam.
Furthermore, I would want to convey my heartfelt gratitude to management, the principal, staff members, and students for their assistance in making this FTP a success. Once again, thank you so much, sir.
Most welcome, madam. At this juncture, once again, I wanted to profusely thank all the officials of maybe Ramya madam, especially HOD madam, all
Yes,
the
sir.
mechanical process for supporting
Yes, sir.
this wonderful webinar and also inviting me for sharing my own knowledge among the students as well as the teaching community. Thank you very much, madam.
Actually, we
I
are very
wholeheartedly
grateful to you, sir,
thank
for
you, ma'am. Thank
accepting
you.
our invitation.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much, madam. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Okay.
Some of our friends asking for phone number, madam. Even I will share the presentation to you also.
Okay, sir.
Kindly have the privilege of sharing to them because knowledge is about to share, not to be stored, madam. That is why I made a disclaimer statement as well. Kindly do the needful, madam, to the people who they wanted to make use of this slide.
Yeah, sure, sir. I will share.
Thank you. I will send it to madam over WhatsApp or mail, madam. Kindly do
Okay,
the
sir.
needful, madam.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
sir.
madam, for giving the wonderful opportunity.
Welcome, sir.
Madam, with all your permission, shall I take the privilege of leaving, madam?
Yeah, sir.
Thank you, madam. you.